Hello and welcome! This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Master of Orion. Now, in the last episode, I had a lot of difficulties. The game kept giving me issues and crashing and doing a whole bunch of stuff. And we had to kind of change some of our plans as a result. But after attacking one of the enemy planets, I am now going to focus on attacking their previous capital, although it looks like they did move the capital. And let's queue up our guys to get them ready to attack this planet, although we are kind of waiting on that. And I believe that's everything we need to do for the turn. Did we end up sending that civil transport? Yeah, we did. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we did everything for this turn, so let's just end the turn. How are our scouts doing? This one's going that way, and this one is one turn away from it coming here, so we might as well do that. And just a gas giant. I'm actually considering scrapping this at the moment because I don't really see a need for the scouts anymore. And we can always build another one when we need one, so I'm just going to get some credits back here. And we'll probably do likewise with the other scouts soon. Alright, so let's get the attack going here, because nothing else really happened this turn. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to attack. So it's allowing us to do 3 transports. And I think this is where I failed last time, as I didn't select all the transports before I hit deploy. But let's deploy now. This should be an easy victory now. Okay, so we were able to win. And we have a very irradiated planet with not a whole lot of population on it because we wiped out their population. Now, they do have a number of buildings, though, structures that are able to survive. We are going to do pollution cleanup here for sure because of how high the radiation is, although it's not that bad because we haven't been bombing them for a while. Clearly... Oh, we have to keep that guy in food production because these other guys, because without him, we're going to lose population. So, yeah, we'll do that. We got the population working on cleanup. It'll take them quite a while, but they'll eventually get it. Speaking of cleanup, I believe we were working on cleanup on Fierce Prime here. And I think we've got it to an acceptable level, so let's cancel that job. We also have cleanup going on Geta Prime. I didn't really show that on camera because of all the crashing, I think. But I think that's to an acceptable level as well. Although, you know, with Geta Prime, we don't really have anything that's a high priority to work on. And because we don't, you know what? Maybe I'll just start working on trade goods. So, do that. Get this guy off that. We'll have a slow pollution cleanup going there. For the meantime, until this population comes up, which is going to happen in a couple turns, we'll just make some money. And, oh, that's just telling me the blockade has been broken. Well, I don't really care necessarily. Okay, so fleet. We can now start constructing a military outpost. And this fleet, you know, I'm just going to keep it in the system. Keep an eye over here. Out for things. And do we want to just go around planet hopping and taking out defenses? Or do we just want to stick here and just keep bombing the same planet until it's annihilated? I say we stick here. Keep bombing the planet until it's annihilated. We're not far off of actually accomplishing that. And we got the planet that we wanted, which is Ursa Prime. So that's good. And it looks like more or less that's everything else that we need to do. I just want to check to make sure. Yeah, everything looks fine. For the meantime, space factories are doing their jobs. Okay, and I don't think I have pollution cleanup queued up anywhere else. And then, once that is done, I think I'm going to allow for this population to come, and then I'm probably going to switch to making more civil transports and sending them out to our newer colonies to get them up. But I think, more or less, I think we've got this in the bag. We're pretty dominant. If we look path to victory, we're leading pretty much the charts and everything. Our fleet is... The Alkari are right behind us, but they're our allies, so that's good for us. And we're definitely leading in excellence, and we've got quite a lot of turns before that is even a factor. How is our diplomatic relations with the Alkari going? For some reason it's dropping off, and I really don't know why. We haven't done anything antagonistic. We're allied to them. Not sure why that's dropping off, but it is what it is. We do have a trade treaty. I don't know when that runs out. I don't know where you see when that runs out. But in any case, let's go ahead and end the turn.
I would prefer us to engage in profitable association.
All right, well, he wants us to trade tech, and I'm fine giving him the fusion beam because I don't really consider it that important of a tech. We get telepathic training, which is completely useless for us. But if we tell him no, he'll get pissed. So I'm just going to say yes. And
You have my thanks.
it didn't really improve our relations, but it definitely would have deteriorated our relations. That's essentially how the Barathi relations deteriorated. And we got telepathic training, which is completely and totally useless because spies do not actually function in the game at the moment. I'm not exactly sure why my research tree is grayed out like that.
Research continues as it...
There we go. So we got this here. So we get a spy bonus, and spies don't work, so that doesn't really matter. But, oh well. Fusion beams don't seem like they're that great anyway. We do have construction going on Alpha 4, but Alpha 4 has some stuff queued up. So we're fine there. And more or less, we're just going to keep bombing this planet until it stops being alive. Didn't look like it did that much damage, but we'll just continue with that until we finally annihilate them. And our last scout looks like he is about to jump in there. Okay, yep, scrap this guy. We don't need him anymore. Okay, that frees up some command point units. And we're one away from being able to start on the production of our battleship, which is something we definitely want to do. And we're on Ptolemy 2, not far away from getting our cruiser done, although we are having some pollution problems. And I may want to queue up a little bit of cleanup before we do anything. And I may actually just transition directly into the production of that battleship. I'm not 100% on that. And there's nothing saying that we necessarily have to get that battleship done right now. We did discuss switching the production with Geta once that population point pops up, but that hasn't happened yet. And everything on Ursa Prime seems like it's going fine. So, let's go ahead and... We already attacked, right? Yeah. Okay, let's just end the turn. Nothing else going really on. Alright, so a lot is happening now. But one thing I want to do is I just want to see where my civilian transports are. Oh, there's only the one, and it's a ways away, I guess. Okay, so first, research.
Our scientists have made a new discovery.
So we get bomber bays and a battleship. Now, we don't have fighter bays because I didn't select that. And apparently my ally does not have that tech either, so we're just going to miss out on that. But we do have the battleship. So, update blueprints. I don't plan on upgrading any because the only things that we got are the bomber bays, and I don't want those on any of my other ships, so I'm going to ignore that. And we have our next tech. So let's view the tech tree. What do we want to do next? Do we want to do something else military tech-wise that we could upgrade our ships? First off, we have destroyers being produced. And if we do this upgrade before they get finished, they'll get it for free, more or less. And, in theory, we could also alter the design of the battleship. Those are all good things. Now, our cruisers would be a little bit behind on tech as a result, but overall, I think that's a good thing. And honestly, it takes 6 turns. I think that's the best thing that we can do. Because I'm not as keen on this. So, yeah, let's do this. I'm going to take the better engines for sure. Okay, we have a new ship design. We're going to get into the ship designer here in a bit. I want to do everything else first, though. We have a spaceport completed. Spaceports are fantastic. Otherwise, got some stuff queued up. So that is good. Advanced data center completed over there. Okay, and we have stuff queued up over here, so I'm not too concerned about that. And we have one place growing, and looks like that population probably went into production. We'll just keep them there. That's fine. And Gator Prime has grown, and we expected that. And at that point, I think I'm going to stop with that, and I'm going to start producing another transport. You know, honestly, I could be building colonies, and there are a bunch of planets I could be colonizing. But again, defending them with my fleet would be a little problematic, so I'm not going to be doing that at the moment. Let's go ahead and get these guys going. And we may just switch back to trade goods after that is done. And just get this... Oh, actually, we don't even need the production, do we? Because this guy can do it just fine. Okay, that's good. And let's do our ship design now. Well, you know, let's do our attacks first. So, all the way over here. Just keep bombing. Be nice if I had another Beetle bomber over here. Yeah, continuing to not really do damage to population, which is what we're looking for. Alright. Let's go ahead and go into the ship designer then. And it's this fleet that it is waiting, so we'll just help the guard. Okay, ship design. The battleship. Now, I don't actually have a name thought out for the battleship at the moment. But there are a couple things that I think I could name it that we'll maybe do. But until it's actually something we're going to implement, I'm not so sure about the design here. As a matter of fact, we know that we're going to get tech that is going to affect this, but why don't we just go ahead and work on it? So we have the Dauntless Guidance Systems, definitely something we want on here. Ion Drive is the best drive we have at the moment, so that's good. The computer is the best computer that we can fit. Class 3 shields is the best we can have there, and that is the best armor we can have. So we have 4 slots, and we have our weapons. So I don't know why we have all these different types of missiles. So I'm going to be getting rid of those for sure. And we'll probably be doing our weapons from scratch. As a matter of fact, a more efficient way of just like Xing out a weapon would be nice, rather than having to do this. Okay, so... You know, it might be actually worth having both proton torpedoes and pulse-on missiles, though, because pulse-on missiles, they do a lot more damage, but they're closer range. And the proton torpedoes cannot be shot down. Neutron blaster I'm getting rid of. And I might as well get rid of the mass drivers, too. Okay. You know, we have access to the fusion bomb. I don't know if I ever upgraded the Beetles for that. So while I think about that, I'm going to hit done. I'm actually going to go to the Beetle here, edit it. Yeah, they were never ever upgraded. All right, so let's remove those and get fusion bombs instead and fit as many as we can. Are they lighter? No, they're not. We'll do 10. And we'll do 6 of those. You know what? Might as well fill it out. We have 11 fusion bombs. So whenever we actually get to upgrading our Beetles, that would probably help quite a bit with the bombing missions. As a matter of fact, I might even send my Beetle back to get upgraded, although I'm going to assume that upgrade's going to be very expensive. All right, so let's go back to the battleship. And we have the slots. So, what do we want as far as slots go? We have 3 slots overall. Well, I'm probably going to want the bomber bay. Except, where is that? Is that under a different thing? Ah, bomber base is here. Okay. So, we don't worry about that. All right, so then we'll take the battle pods. That increases overall space. Although we might not need it. And we have the Dauntless Guidance System. We can do a couple defensive systems. For instance, what does the Battle Scanner do? Alright, so increased chance to hit. It's not telling us what that chance is, though. But I like the shield capacitor, which gives us recharge speed. And then ECM makes it harder for them to get effective hit chance for missile weapons, which are usually your main enemy. So we're probably going to take that. And we don't want a nuke bomb, because we have the Beetle bombers for that. So bomber bays I want. This is fielded with a high yield torpedo. All right, so they just fly out, drop off their bomb, and they're done. It would be nice to have fighters too, but you know what? I'm going to take some of these. I'll take 6 for now. Then we need the missiles. So, do we want pulson missiles or proton torpedoes? Well, we'll start with the pulson missile. And we'll do 10 of those. Now we need point defense. So mash driver for that. Point defense. We'll do 10 of those. Now we need an actual weapon. And I'm not clear on what the better weapons are for this situation. And I've been sticking with mass drivers, so I'm going to continue to do that. And we're going to put, let's say 10 of those. Then I'm going to do some proton torpedoes. And I'm going to put on as many as I can. Wow, I can fit quite a few, huh? So we may be upgrading some of our weapon systems, like, for instance, the mass driver. Another thing I can do is I can do anti-missile rockets. Do 4 of those. Okay, so we have our our weapons bays loaded out. Now we just have to decide with that last 70 or so what we want to do. So we've got 12 proton torpedoes and 10 pulson missiles. Do we increase our loadout of, like, for instance, I could do 9 and then make them heavy mounts. Or I could do like a auto fire and have 10. And then up the point defense maybe. Or maybe have more missiles. So 1, 2, there we go. And then maybe more point defense. There, all right. That's more or less, I think, close enough. So we've got 12, 12, 10, 12, 4, and 6 bomber bays. I have no idea how the bomber bays work, so that's just something we're going to have to try out. I'm not going to change the name right now because I have a couple things that I might try. And maybe I'll name it once it actually gets implemented. And we'll start off with the Mark 1 of that, once we name it to that, as opposed to a Mark 2 or 3 or whatever. So once I've actually added in the better engines, that's probably going to be the point that I make that name change. Okay, so let's... Do we want to move that Beetle bomber here? Have we already attacked? Yeah, we have. Do we want to leave with the fleet, come over here? They'll get there the same time that the military outpost gets done. Upgrade the bomber if they can afford it. And then come back? Sounds like a plan. And I honestly think we get more done that way. And then we could always link up with our other cruiser if we want. Okay, so we're getting there. And we have Ptolemy 2 here. Probably want at least another turn of pollution cleanup. And we're working over here on our destroyers, which are going to get done ahead of our research. So why don't we do another pollution cleanup project over here? And we'll put that in the queue. Because this still needs some cleanup done. All right, I think we can end the turn safely. Just want to make sure where my other stuff is. Looks like we're good, we're good. Progress here is good. Okay.
Your influence on a galaxy threatens the delicate balance of our experiment. Such hazards cannot be tolerated.
All right, so they're telling us to cut out the expansionist tendencies. That could be why the Alkari are getting mad at us over time, is that we're, like, trying to annihilate the Bulrathi, and that's making them, like, nervous. Could be. In any case, we've got some stuff going on. So we've got the Space Factory finishing here. So we're going to want to send that Space Factory on to some of our other systems. So we'll send it over here, build that, and then we can finally move this frigate back to the rest of the fleet. We'll build this, we'll build that, we'll be done over here. So next we've got Colonial Revenue Service. As long as we've got stuff queued up, I'm not worried about that. We've got another civil transport completed over here. We're just going to be producing some money in the meantime. And as a result, there we go. Get that money making. And another civil transport, which we're going to send back over to our newer colonies. And I'm just going to put it here, just as I did with the other civil transport, until I figure out where I want it. But currently, it looks like my priority is probably going to actually be over here. Or possibly over here. Maybe I'll send one there, one there. But right now, this planet only has one population, so it definitely needs it. And it is a Gaian planet, after all, so we want to take advantage of it. And we have some growth on Ptolemy 2, which is good. We need growth there. And I'm going to take this guy off of production, actually, and put him in, you know what, food production. We're getting some pretty decent food production going. Might as well get that population cranking. Okay, so that is more or less it for this turn. Let's go ahead and get our fleet moving, though. And end the turn.
Let's both take pause, that we may battle another day.
You know, I might actually say yes to this. I'm thinking about it. And the reason I'm thinking about it is I can't really do... Mostly I'd just be wiping them out. And honestly, at this point in the game, that's really the victory we're going for. So you know what? Screw you. Unless you're going to give me, like, colonies and stuff, which you're not offering. And as far as I know, there's no counteroffer. It seems like the AI can do that to you, but you can't do that to them. You can either say yes or no. So, no. Okay.
This is GNN, Galactic News Network.
Population has boomed in a human colony as the population growth rate has doubled for unknown reasons.
Well, population growth rate doubling for unknown reasons, you know what that means. But let's see, that's one of our newer colonies, and right now we do not have any population growth. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually put a person there so that we can actually take advantage of that. I don't know if this is only going to happen for one turn. We do have some production though, even without a worker working there, so it's not a total loss. We do have some buildings going on here. Okie dokie. So what do we want to do on Sol Prime? Well, first off, we want to get rid of that horrendous pollution. So let's do that. And population growth is looking good, but what I might do is actually just put that into research. All right. We got a toxic processor done. We could be queuing up more things here. How's pollution looking? Not too bad. Orbital shipyard. Ship cost down. We don't really need that in that system right now. So what would be a better priority for us if we're not going to be building? I'm assuming that I have... Yeah, we have that going to be built, queued anyway. So Neutron Collider would probably be next, and then the Advanced Research Lab, or technically the Moon Lab, because it builds faster. All right. Looks good. That's more or less all we needed to do. So our fleet moving along here. Be there in a few turns. Matter of fact, it's going to take a lot longer than I would have thought. Maybe we should have just sent the Beetle, because it seemed like the Beetle by itself was faster. I wonder if some of these older ships are really dragging my fleet. And Gata Prime here is working on money, because I can't think of anything else for them to work on. Okay. And what about you, Furious Prime? You're still working on pollution cleanup? You've done your job. You can start working on the destroyers. In theory, that should... We'll just slow that down a little bit. There we go. Get some more research going. All right. So we should be good for the next turn. Okay, trade treaty with the Alkari is finished. That's going to limit our cash inflow. Space factory is completed here. Might as well send it over here and start it working on a new military outpost. Speaking of which, how's our space factory over here working? It's still got some turns to go before it gets to that other system. Our fleet is on standby over there. And our civilian transport's still trucking along. So let's go to the spaceport here. Alright, it looks like it's got some stuff queued, so we're good there. And then the trade treaty. Do we want to rekindle that? It's hard to say because that actually takes cash to do, but I don't think it takes a lot of cash. Let's just take a look at it. So the Alkari, who are getting...
The blessings of the Sky God be upon you. What proposition would you put forth?
Alright, so if we do the trade treaty... wait, back up here. How much does that cost? Costs a lot. And we're not going to regain it in time, so we might hold off a little bit and just wait.
May the wind carry you to...
Because after the second turn, we can get that upgrade. So let's go ahead and end the turn one more time. And pop into the system. We're just a little ways away from being able to do that. And doesn't look like anything else has really happened. Although we do have pollution cleanup going on that we may want to cancel at some point. I do have to keep that in mind because those do not auto-cancel from what I've seen. that I don't have them going on anywhere that is a problem. Doesn't look like I do. Oh, I speak of the devil, and here we are. Why don't we cancel that? Choose a different production. What do we need that has most possibly been destroyed? Well, hydroponic farm's a good thing to build. So I'll work on that. And our pollution's going down anyway, because we're not really producing that much pollution. And would it be better to get a little bit of, yeah, food production going so we can get that population back up? Problem is we haven't assimilated that population yet. But in any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We'll be attempting to upgrade our bomber next turn, going over here to then wipe out the Borathi for, more completely with better bombs. This is a Mouse Gunner signing out.